Good Sunday morning from Sarah's Cozy Kitchen. Today we are going to make a super easy recipe, my camera's jiggling, sorry, for Christmas and for the cookie trays that everybody does, and for kids. This one's actually really easy for kids. It's still early, so I had to go get my coffee, sorry. So we're just making really easy peanut butter balls. Everybody probably knows how to make peanut butter balls, but I'm gonna go ahead and put the recipe out there anyway because this is kind of an archive for my young adult children also to learn how to make things. So anyway, I just thought I would do this. It's super fast. So I'm gonna make the dough. Then the dough has to sit in the refrigerator for about an hour before we coat the balls. So I'm gonna do this in 2 steps. So you'll probably see me in a different outfit a little bit later because this is my Sunday morning read on the couch book outfit. So anyway, super easy. So you only need 1, 2, 3, 4 ingredients, and then for the dipping you'll need the chocolate. So 5 or 6 small ingredients. So the first thing you need is 6 tablespoons of butter brought to room temperature. So I've had this sitting in my warm oven. So we're gonna do the 6 tablespoons. We are going to do 1 cup of creamy peanut butter. Don't use the natural style, you need to use the processed one. And then I've got my handy dandy jar scraper. This thing is the best for peanut butter. And it's one of my top selling, I'm an affiliate at, LTK and Amazon. So LTK, I use all different kinds of vendors. But I got this off of Amazon, and it's one of my top things that people buy because this jar scraper, people put it in like their kids' stockings if you have young adults that are trying to get a kitchen together. You can use it for pasta sauce, all different kinds of stuff. And then when you don't want to get your fingers all gooey. Okay, there was what I needed for the 1 cup of peanut butter. Okay. Peanut butter is so sticky. All right, so we want to make sure we get all that out onto the beater. And you do need a stand mixer for this because we are gonna really mix this together. So we're gonna cream this together while we get the powdered sugar ready. About 2 minutes. I'll have to scrape the sides of the bowl down. Okay, put the peanut butter there. We're done with the peanut butter. And I am gonna have to scrape a little bit because it's stuck to the side. Okay, now we're gonna get the powdered sugar ready. We need 2.5 cups of powdered sugar. That's what holds it all together. I realize this is not the most healthiest recipe, obviously, with all this sugar, but if you eat them in moderation, freeze some of them, you need 2.5 cups. Handy dandy new one here. Okay, that's still mixing. I'm gonna grab the scissors. I'm in the middle of my Christmas decorating too. Sometimes when you do this influencing, you have to be like a whole season ahead. So I'm like half, well, I don't really call it influencing, cooking. I don't really influence anyway. But I'm like half Thanksgiving, half Christmas right now. So 2.5 cups. So I'm using my standard Pyrex measuring cup because this stuff's messy. Okay, I got 2.5 cups. And then we need vanilla. Okay, add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, we're gonna scrape the sides of this bowl down again because the peanut butter sticks. Okay, now we're gonna do the fun part. We're gonna add the powdered sugar. 2.5 cups, like I said. Mix this up together. Oh. I'm drinking the new coffee creamer, the Home Alone one. Highly recommended. It's like toasted marshmallow or something. fun to try different types of creamers. And it's going to be a little bit crumbly. See, it's a little crumbly, but when we go to make the balls, the warmth of our hands, because we're going to use our hands when we make the peanut butter balls, will kind of make it come together, but we got to get all this powdered sugar mixed in. So I've been making non-stop cookies because I put together these cookie trays in probably a couple weeks. So my freezer is getting really full. I think that will probably do it. Okay, so I'm using the whisk. You know, you can use the whisk one, but then you gotta like get all the extra stuff out, or you can use the flat one in these, whichever works better. Okay, I'm gonna show you the consistency of this. Let me wash my hands. Just a second. Okay, now we're going to take our big cookie tray. I have to back you up a little bit so you can see this, or down like that. That might work. Okay, kind of a mess going here. I'm working on a tiny little counter at this angle. Okay, so the consistency looks like that for the peanut butter ball. So it's a little bit crumbly, but see, when I do this with my hands to make these nice uniform balls, they just come together so nice. That's what the powdered sugar really does. It kind of binds it together. So now we're gonna make these into like 1-inch balls. You wanna roll them like this. This is probably gonna make about 30 to 35 of these. So then I'm gonna cool them in the fridge for 1 hour before we dip them. And that's important to just kind of make them nice and cold when we put them in the warm chocolate so that they don't fall apart. And then we're gonna put little sprinkles on some of these, because who doesn't love sprinkles on some of the chocolate? So you can coat these in white almond bark too, but they get really sweet. So I prefer the chocolate or the dark chocolate melt. I might do a little bit of both with these when we go to coat them. So I wouldn't recommend the white ones. The white ones are the white coating I use more for like the Oreo balls, not so much the peanut butter balls. So those are probably on my list for a little bit later this week, the Oreo balls. I'm trying to post 2 recipes a day. I'm not always being able to do that because I do work full time. On top of this, I work in accounting. And I own a tiny little small business too that actually I'm going to next. We live in a high lakes area, so I do some concierge services for some of our lake owners, and I have to go turn over a VBRO this afternoon. So all these kind of little things to make life affordable. It's hard. Okay, so I'm gonna keep doing this while I keep ranting on about things here. And then when I come back, we will make the frosting after about an hour of cooling in the refrigerator. Okay, I'm back. Way more hours later than I was hoping to, but that's kind of what happens sometimes in my life. And so now we have our peanut butter balls that have been sitting in the refrigerator for more than an hour, but they need a minimum of an hour. So I just left them in the fridge while I was doing other things. And now we're going to melt the chocolate to dip them in. So I'm using milk chocolate chips. I'm going to use about 3/4 of a cup. And I always have to sneak one because I love chocolate chips. And then I'm going to use melting wafers. They're dark. So you can use, these are from Aldi, or you can use the Ghirardelli. I've heard that Ghirardelli are really, really good. Especially the dark chips. So the dark chips, they just melt really easy. Like that. So about 1/2 cup, 3/4 of a cup of these. Okay, now microwave. You can use a double boiler if you want. But I'm going to put these in the microwave for 30 seconds and we're going to mix them up. Mix it up. They melt really fast, so I'm not too concerned. I'm gonna grab a spatula for when they're done. And then we're gonna use 2 forks. So simple kitchen equipment. You don't need anything special for these cookies. So see our beautiful peanut butter balls? And then some people call these Buckeyes. So the difference is, hold on. Okay, now we're just gonna mix it up. And it's gonna have to go back in 30 more seconds. I probably have to do this 3 or 4 times. Okay, so if you wanted to make Buckeyes, the difference in the Ohio Buckeyes is they dip them in, but they leave a little bit open of the peanut butter sticking out, so it's not fully covered, so that it looks like they're the Buckeye on a Buckeye tree. So that's the difference between what these are and a Buckeye. Just a little information if you were curious about that. Okay. And then what else could we talk about while we're waiting for the chocolate? Okay, hold on. Okay, we're getting there. I think 30 more seconds. You don't want to melt these because they'll burn. So there's a very fine line. 30 more seconds. Okay, if you can hear the football game in the background, that's Kansas City Chiefs. And I have no idea who else because it's on commercial. I think it's the Buffalo Bills. So I have my microphone on though, so you shouldn't be able to hear it in the background. My husband's watching that while I bake. And then my next recipe, I'm going to do cheesy chicken and wild rice soup. It's really, really good. That's going to be tomorrow. And then Tuesday, I have another cookie coming. Okay, that's going to be all we're going to need. Okay, so I've got it melted down. The chips went to just pure chocolate. All right. Okay, if it's too thick, you can add a little bit of vegetable oil. So now we're going to dip our cookie in there and pull it out like that. I let a little bit extra drip off and then set it back on the tray like that. And then you're just going to keep doing that over and over and over like that. You can probably do 2 at a time. Okay, and then to make it even better, we're going to add a few sprinkles. So it does take like 2 forks. Okay, so I'm not going to keep you on here. So basically you keep doing that. Then you put them back in the refrigerator to just let the chocolate settle, and then they're done. You can freeze these too, but I'm going to put a few sprinkles on. So I've got my trusty red and green. So we could just add a few sprinkles over the top like this, just for some fun Christmassy colors. Oh, can you see that? Oh yeah, you can. So that is my peanut butter balls. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. If you learned something, or even if you've made these for years, just comment on here and give me a follow and a like. I'm not going to beg for subscribers because if you like me, go ahead and subscribe and you'll get lots of really good videos and really good food. So anyway, see you next time.